Hi everyone, good afternoon. This is Kayla Kling. I'm Principal LED's Content Specialist, and I'm here with Eric Tanner, who's one of our engineers. And today we'll be going over our brand new Qwik Boxes as well as our power supplies that we recently released. So thank you for joining us, and I'll turn it over to Eric.
Good afternoon, everybody. Really glad you got to join us here for these webinars. Seems like they're really beneficial for us as well as our customers. So I got a few things we're going to go over today. We'll go over some of our new power supplies, some of the specs and the different options we have, when to use maybe some of these new options that we got for them. Then we'll also go with the kind of updates with our new power supplies, kind of a quick review. And then I'll go into kind of introducing our new Qwik Boxes, the new sizes, updates on the specs, and then of course the power supply options as well. So going on from there, so our new couple of our new power supplies we have are going to be our 20-watt power supply as well as our 36-watt. Our 20-watt power supply, a little bit smaller than any of our normal stuff that you might have seen out there. Of course, the universal input voltage, 100 to 277 VAC, and then it meets all the UL, CE, EMC, all the good certifications. It is a plastic fire retardant case, silicone potted, so it is, it's perfect for those indoor or outdoor applications. The main ideal location for these things are going to be perfect for your small indoor projects. I'm not going to say it's going to be limited to your indoor, but that's going to be your most common use. It's going to be some of your smaller applications of channel layers or small cabinet sizes. So, and then the other one would be our 36-watt, which is basically the same course as your 20-watt. Of course, it's just going to be a little bit larger, going to have a little more power, of course. It's still going to be ideal for your smaller applications. A lot of it's going to be for, like, I would say, your art displays or your decorative wall hanging, something like that, or some of your smaller channel layer sets as well. We had quite a few comments and inquiries about some of the smaller power supplies, so had a good price break. So this is kind of one of our mediations with the 20-watt and the 36-watt, having to get away from that 60-watt when you don't have to have such a bigger power supply to go with it. So, and of course, then we have our additional outdoor power supplies that are that we've had in the past. We've got our most economical, which is that universal 60-watt PMC, which is plastic. We've also got your universal 120-watt power supply, and also your 60-watt, and then of course the universal 60-watt threaded. Which all four of these are going to be ideal for any of your outdoor applications that you might come across. So some of the updates that we have on our new power supplies, we come up with, we've got now shorter tabs. This is basically to help fit inside our new Qwik Boxes that we have. As you can see on the right of this photo here, you can see the new mounting links, which come up to 7.8 inches, which is going to be a lot easier to apply in some of these smaller, tighter spaces that y'all might come across. Also, with these new power supplies we've got, they're all going to be CSA certified. That's including our 20 and 36 watt, as well as these 60s and 120s. So that's a big beneficial for our friends up north. So.
All right, and that brings us to our first poll. And when you answer, make sure you answer with the chat window so we know who's responding. All right, let's leave it open. Few seconds more, and just as a reminder, make sure to use the chat window to submit any questions you may have throughout the webinar. And if you haven't had a chance yet, download the handouts We have a number of PDFs and specifically the spec sheets for all of the products we're talking about today. So be sure to check that out and download those when you can. All right, I'm going to close it. And this one was a bit of a trick question. So as Eric just said, the CSA is the most recent one that we've, certification that we've gotten for our power supplies. The FCC, the CE, and the ROHS certifications we've already had for some time. So the CSA, that's the newest one. Thank you for answering that. And it looks like our winner of that is Chris Henderson. So congratulations, Chris, for winning that poll. All right.
Perfect. So now I'll move on to our new Qwik Boxes. I say new, we've had these around, but we've got a few new sizes, a few redesigns for you. We have now, to help with some of these smaller locations or smaller applications that y'all are looking for, we do now have our single Qwik Box. There we go. So our new single Qwik Box, in the past we've had one size, which is our double, and if you just needed one single power supply, you kind of had this big bulky Qwik Box up there with just one power supply. So we kind of helped with some of these smaller applications to get a little slimmer, cleaner look amongst your signs. So, of course, you've got the dimensions there, 11 inches by 5 by 3.65. So now this is the thing, it only holds one power supply, so you can have one 60-watt metal unit or the plastic, the PMC, or the universal 96-watt, which here in the next few months we'll coming out with our 96-watt for the 24-volt. That'll be our feature, looks like a couple months down the line. So just in prep for that. So after that, with our new design, it includes what we had our convenient grinding mug location, which was one of the troubles that we had in the past. So now we've got this grinding mug that's been a little more accessible, where you can actually get to it a little bit easier. There's not a whole lot of stuff in the way, so it really helps on the speed of your application. And then we also have our smaller size. Of course, you've got your smaller size for your tighter spaces. And then, of course, we updated our clearance spacing. So that's why we kind of have a new updated double Qwik Box, and then, of course, the new single box. These are all kind of redesigned to help with the updated clearance spacing for heat on our power supply. So, a little special note there that they still contain a primary barrier to aid in segregation of primary wiring from your all secondary leads, which is the main goal amongst these Qwik Boxes. Is you want to keep these things separated from your main primary to your secondary lines. You want to keep all that stuff nice and separate. So with our new double Qwik Box, we've got several different options. We got the size is going to be a little bit different than our older models. We just kind of did that just to help with that, to help with the heat on these power supplies, kind of keep with the UL. So all these things, that's the number one thing, is it all meets UL specs, and so it's all certified through UL. So you can kind of go through that list so you can kind of see the many different options that we have. We've got, of course, your two 60-watt power supplies, and of course the two 60-watt plastics. So, and then you can have your one single 120, or you can have the many combinations as one 60-watt and one 120, or you can have two 120s. And that's the case. That's one of those things where it helps to keep a lot of this stuff all compacted into one unit. You can service, several different size signs with this one single box in most cases, especially with the 120 and with the double 120. So that does really help with keeping your signs nice and clean and fresh. So, This next photo is here kind of showing some of the new applications with, you got your quick disconnect, or not disconnect, but your on and off switch there. You've got your knockouts that are already knocked out there, which helps, of course, speed your process along with your install guides. You'll want to, you have your main primary coming in on your right side there, and then you'll have your two secondary leads coming out of the left side. And of course, you look on the inside here, you can see where everything's got your dividers help separate your primary from your secondary. Let's see, I'm trying to think. And for instance, like on these doubles, if you only have a single primary coming out, or not a primary, secondary coming out, there are plugs that you actually plug in there that are included with this, so it helps keep a nice, clean, crisp look on your finished product.
Anything else?
I think that's about it.
All right, we'll launch into our second poll here, and hopefully you were paying attention. Again, remember to answer with the chat window so we know who is answering. And don't overthink this one. I'm sure there are people out there who are gonna, well, technically there are more, but don't overthink this one. And we listed how many there should be, so if you're paying attention, you'll know which one is which. All right, I'll give it a few more seconds. Again, if you have any questions, be sure to submit them through the chat window. All right. And I'm going to close it. And about 30% of you got it right. It is 6 combinations. So let's go back. And I'll share that screen again so you can see the 6 combinations that we were talking about. So it's 2 of the 60-watt metal, 2 of the 60-watt plastic, 1 120. You can do 60 and a 120, 2 120s, and then 2 96s. So there's 6 of them. So congratulations to John. We will be in touch with you for winning that poll. And we will go to, let's see, any questions? And it looks like we had a few come in. This first one's from Chris. Do you have a footage chart for the smaller power supplies for use with your popular LED products?
No, we don't. On most situations like that, we're going to stick with, especially with our layouts, especially our online applications, we're just going to stick with the 60 watt. If you need to get into the smaller wattage power supplies, it's usually easier to do that either by hand or either sending that into one of the guys and kind of putting a note on there that you're wanting the smaller power supplies, so utilize those. It's just going to get too tricky if we include that onto our online tool. It just gets a little too confusing for our customers.
All right. And to answer your other question, yes, the double boxes can hold 2 of the plastic 60-watt power supplies with the new tab. And another question comes in, do they come empty?
No, they don't. Everything we've got, as you can kind of see, there's a sticker or label on each one of what's actually listed inside. So you've got your Qwik box with several different options. Like I said, with those 6 different options with your 260-watt metal or plastic. And then, of course, the different options with your 120s combined with the 60, whatever it is that you're looking for. But we have different part numbers for each one of those combinations. So everything's going to be complete. All you got to do is kind of a plug and play.
And just as a reminder, as you are checking out these new power supplies, you can still use Easy Layout Builder for the standard sizes, which are the 60 watt and the 120, as Eric had mentioned earlier. And if there aren't any more questions, I think we will wrap it up. And I wanted to thank you again for joining us today. Again, be sure to download the data sheets. Those are the handouts that are under the Handouts tab, and those will go into further details with the specs. And if you have any other questions, be sure to contact us. We do have peelit.com/power that lists all of our outdoor power solutions as well as our Qwik Boxes, so that's the fastest way to pull up all of the data on those products. And want to remind you, we have our next webinar that's coming up, and it's going to be about Street Fighter Family, and we'll be discussing how to use the family for specialty lighting. So as you see, we have our pod products, we have our knockout, we have RGB, we have our mini modules, and it's really the go-to family for your specialty lighting projects. So be sure to tune in for that. That will be about a month from today, Wednesday, August 22nd at 2 p.m. And the link will be in the post-webinar email. So be sure to be on the lookout for that and register. And wanted to thank you again for joining us. Again, if you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer them for you. And we will see you at our next webinar. Thanks.
Thanks.